She was burnt from the top of her head all the way on right to the back of her heels. The whole back was burnt, and she was laying. Some of the sailors had taken her out, and she was laying on the stomach out there on the field. And of course, when the medics came, they helped to get her to the hospital.
Emergency response to the explosion of the Hindenburg is almost as swift as the fire itself. Dr. Raymond Taylor is one of the first on the scene. He then proceeds to the local hospital where the victims are taken. Here he's interviewed outside the airship hangar.
I was the surgeon in charge, and I was automatically accorded the care of all of them. There were 2 personnel that were in there, and they were so badly burned that they were beyond help in the hospital. I examined them, and they talked to me through an interpreter. I couldn't talk German, and they wanted to know if they were going to die, and I told them no. Whereupon the nurses, I told them to give them enough morphine to keep them comfortable, and I'm sure they did. But it was terrible to see them dying, and you couldn't do anything about it. We had a Jewish doctor at the hospital that asked if he could take care of Lehman, because Lehman was a German and this doctor was Jewish, and he wanted to show a gesture of goodwill toward the German people. And I let him take care of Captain Lehman until he died a few hours later. But in respect to that, we were also told that Hitler was going to give those who took care of these people a medal, but that was rescinded, I understand, when he found out that the Jewish doctor was taking care of German people.
If one believes the theory that it was a bomb that destroyed the airship planted by order of Adolf Hitler himself, then medals made from the twisted aluminium would have made macabre souvenirs. John Iannacone, however, offers a more widely held, if less dramatic, theory.
That was the end of the airship, the rigid airship era, because everybody was afraid of them, and they didn't know just what happened. Everybody thought it was sabotage. Somebody thought it was somebody shot at it, incendiary bullet. I mean, they had all kinds of stories, but I still think it was static electricity that caused it.
Most of Iannacone's theory is in fact supported by investigations conducted at the time by both the American and German governments. As the Hindenburg was maneuvering in the gusty winds to land at Area Number 2, it is believed a steering cable may have snapped, rupturing a gas cell. Then, when the rain-soaked landing lines were dropped to the ground, a spark could have been generated by the lightning-charged conditions, traveling up the lines to the drenched external skin of the Hindenburg. When the spark passes through the skin to the internal frame of the ship, now filled with leaking hydrogen, there was disaster. Film actor and acrobat Joseph Spar is among the 36 passengers. He is one of the lucky ones who lived to tell the tale.
My first thought was out. People began to scream and holler, and the furnitures started to slide in a heap. I took the camera and hit this plastic window, and we started to climb out. I knew that I was hanging outside the Zeppelin. I did not know how long I could hold on. My instinct told me this was the right time when I let go. My left leg caved in as I hit the ground. I was trying to crawl away. Then I saw this big man. He came running toward me, picked me up, dragged me clear, and ran with me, and then threw me down on the ground. I saw burned passengers running around blindly, with everything burned off their body, just like they were roasted. I saw them still running. I saw 2 landing crew members trying to hold on to them. And then I saw some other passengers come limping on, barely burned. I knew that I was very fortunate, and I said thanks to God that he spared me for now.
Hydrogen will kill you.
because it burned. Hitler had no use for anything that you couldn't use as a projectile. He did succeed in doing one thing. He used the airship as a bomb.
Retired Lieutenant Commander Leonard Schellberg was part of the rigid airship program in Lakehurst, the US Navy's own Zeppelin division back in the 1930s. He supports one of many theories mixing pre-war politics, international intrigue and conspiracy, which claims that the Hindenburg's destruction was no accident. It was an act of sabotage.
Hitler cleared out anything we had for building an airship. It swept it out of Congress, and if you look around, it swept it out of Lakehurst.
Of the 97 people aboard, 22 crewmen and 13 passengers died, and on the ground, one member of the landing crew was killed. That tragic day in May 1937 spelt the end for the Zeppelins. It took 30 years to develop the airship. It took less than 1 minute to bring that era to a close.